another Saturday. Thanks for staying tuned to your station, the African Independent Television, and welcome to your program, Security Watch Africa. Only on this channel, we bring you that information you need to keep your life safe and secured. Wherever it is, we'll bring it to you. You that is joining us, I wish you a COVID-19, a coronavirus free day. I just borrowed that from one of my guests here in the studio. I just pray that there will be a time and a day that will come that where we will not get any news or any reports of confirmed cases, and it will just be discharge and discharge and discharge. We believe that that day will soon come, and we look forward to that day. Welcome to your program. My name still remains Patrick Abambo. We'll be getting a lot of comments from you on our social media platform on the previous editions of this program. Unfortunately, because of time, we've not been able to respond to you on air, but we've been responding through the channel you communicated to us. Please just bear with us. Time is of essence, is a big problem. So welcome to all our viewers who are joining us live on YouTube. Security Watch Africa on YouTube is on. You can join us. For those of you who may not have the facility, the ability to watch on air on AIT, you can also join us live on our Facebook page, Security Watch Africa Television. You can go there, like it, and you watch us live. We want to reach as many people as we can reach all over. There are many people outside Africa who follow this program every day. You are welcome to the program today. Yes, quickly, in fact, I just wish we have enough time because so many things to talk about. But first, I want to commend the governor and the government of Ekiti State. Governor Kayode for what he did about that particular incident that happened where a father refused at taking his son home because his son broke the law, left Lagos to travel to Ado-Ekiti at this period where there is lockdown, even after the father had warned him not to come, and he insisted and he came. And the father insisted that the boy must be tested before he can allow him into his house. That really is a true father. That is what our African parents are known for. And I commend the man for doing that. Mr. Adeoye, you did so well. And he's a former staff of Federal Road Safety Commission, so he's a disciplinarian and he knows what he's doing. And the governor quickly appointed him as an ambassador for the COVID-19 campaign, and that is a good one. And I believe that that will set example for other people. Don't break the law for whatever reason. Stay where you are at this time and the help will come. Yes, there are so many things for us to talk about. But first, I want to tell you that as we are battling, we're at war currently against coronavirus. We're also still at war with against the insurgents and the terrorists in the northeast. And we have been looking at what has been the role of the media this period. There's been a lot of reports of Nigeria really advancing into the Lake Chad Basin and clearing all those areas. But the information has not been coming out much. So we decided to find out what is the role of the media at this point. Sit back as we bring you this report from the Nigerian Army by Lucy Tawo.
Since the advent of Boko Haram deadly activities in Nigeria, indoctrination and propaganda have been two main strategies used by the deadly group to gain membership and sympathy from some citizens of Nigeria. The media has been a vehicle most frequently used to propagate their evil. Some time ago, the Nigerian's Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, described the media as oxygen of terrorism. Is the Nigerian media innocently promoting insurgency and terrorism in the country? Security Watch Africa spoke with some media personalities and public affairs analysts on the role of the media on the fight against insurgency and terrorism.
The media, it has a tremendous role to play. Accuracy of the report, not blowing things out of proportion. You have to be sure of your facts before you let the, broadcast or you publish it. Otherwise, you create unnecessary panic and the damage would have been done by the time it is found out that actually the story is not true or is inaccurate and the rest of them.
There have been a lot of unfair judgment meted out to the Nigerian military by the media. So many people are so proud to carry headlines that will spread terror, fear, and also show that the military is not performing. But when we have had successes, but you hardly see this on the pages of, even when you see them in the pages of our newspaper, you see them at one corner. You will not see them on the headline. But if the Boko Haram should attack, or there's any attack, or issue of attack, you find that it's everywhere on the media. So the media, they seems to thrive on negative news than positive news. I believe in prosperity. I believe in development. I believe that we should be pro-Nigeria before anything. Patriotism should come in when we are reporting, when the media is reporting their news, especially when they have to do with military operations. We are not saying what did not happen, but we are saying report things the way it is, the way they are, and also when there is success, let's applaud success.
I think the media has actually not been fair on the war on Boko Haram, most so because it borders on a lot of political permutations. And you see, the media actually operates on who pays the piper. So most times it's possible that there are a lot of people who are fifth columnists, or those who actually want to discredit the effort of government and that of the army. And as you know, the army is not Buratai's army, it is Nigeria's army. The army does not belong to anybody. It's for the security of the entire Nigeria as a nation. And I want to believe that at this point in time, it is very, very important that the media will have to change the narrative. We must be more patriotic in our reportage. It must be very inclusive. It must be very investigative. It must have all the elements of international best practice, so that going forward, it will not look as if we are trying to promote we are trying to undermine the efforts of the Nigerian army in trying to protect all of us.
The recent onslaught by the Nigerian army against the Boko Haram and elements of Islamic State in West African province was commended by these experts.
The way and manner in which Nigeria encountered Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria, it was different to our culture, where we are not used to terrorism. We never believed that Nigerians could die for any cause or for anything. But quickly, the military, the security architecture have to quickly adjust their template. And they went after these boys. And today, they are only limited to the fringes of Lake Chad.
The recent feats achieved by the Nigerian army in the last onslaught is commendable. I sincerely appreciate the effort of the Nigerian army so far in the fight against Boko Haram.
At the moment, based on what they have done, it's highly commendable, highly commendable.
Well, the situation is, you can see, thankfully, the military is up and doing, particularly the Nigerian army. You can see that they have been now taking the fight to the, terrorist enclave wherever they might be, and that's a good sign that things are changing for the better.
Lucy Tawo, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, the media is called to report what happened, but not give so much air to the insurgents and terrorism. That is doing injustice to this country, Nigeria. Yes, because of time, we must go quickly to the issue of the day, which is coronavirus, COVID-19. But everything is quite important. When we are secure, there was a time where this Boko Haram was a threat to all parts of Nigeria. Now they are at the corner. Also, very soon, like I said at the beginning, coronavirus will also go or be at the corner. The experts here will tell us how we can get to that. But there's also an aspect, because May 4th, that is next Monday, 2 days from now, 2020, there will be easing of the lockdown. Security Watch Africa, led by Peggy Agbe, decided to find out how are people even complying with the lockdown, visited some of the communities, so that that will open up the discussion in the studio. Sit back as we bring you this report by Peggy.
The lockdown order, issued by the Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, about a month ago, is said to help reduce the spread of coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, and also to aid the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, with contact tracing. This step, which had seemed impossible, has indeed saved the nation a lot of crisis, as a rising number of infected persons cannot be compared with other countries since the outbreak of the pandemic. As the government moved towards easing the lockdown order, Security Watch Africa's crew took a trip to some communities within Abuja municipality to find out if these communities are adhering to the lockdown order, social distancing, and personal hygiene protocols issued by health authorities.
This is the third phase of the lockdown order by President Muhammadu Buhari on COVID-19 pandemic. And we're somewhere around Durumi, and normal activities are still going on here. When we got to interview the indigents, or people who stay around here, they said they need to eat and they need to fend for their families.
If Nigeria actually wants to do what others are doing, they say there's a shutdown. When you see other countries, you see that a lot of, let's say a good number of people were actually given what they should eat. Some persons went to market before this shutdown and there was no money. So they don't expect people to stay at home and do, they would die of hunger apart from the pandemic. So I think that's the real, because there was nobody came for any awareness in this village. Churches, most churches are still going on. Mosques are still going for their prayers. So it doesn't look like it's real. That's why people are on the street.
They tell us say they will give us food. Like now, like yesterday, no anything inside my house because since 3 weeks now we locked down and no food. And we are hearing for news or TV say they give us food. We don't see anything.
It is expedient that I stay at home.
But you're outside right now.
Because I need to get essentials, like they say. I want to cook. That's why I'm outside this evening.
We'll be hearing of palliative because people are hungry. People are just down home. There's no food to eat, and you just lock them down. What they're supposed to do, they are not doing it. So if they think on their own part, easing the lockdown next week will not increase the virus by doing their own part, then we, the public, also will try our own best to obey the law.
I think the easing of the lockdown will help those daily earners to actually obtain something to eat, to feed families.
Obviously, many Nigerians still do not observe the necessary measures to reduce the spread of coronavirus. Now, with the easing off of the lockdown, many observers are worried that Nigeria may witness a spike in the number of COVID-19 cases in days to come if strict adherence to social distancing, wearing of face masks, and personal hygiene protocols are not followed. Peggy Agbe, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. That report doesn't seem too encouraging. Before I come to Doctor, Shina Phillips is in the studio. Shina Phillips is Security Watch Africa International Assessor. I also have in the studio Dr. Emeka Kanebi, who is a public health practitioner. He will talk more about it. But let me talk from the social angle of it. Shina, you saw that report about what is happening. This was just yesterday, where we're supposed to be observing lockdown. What's your take on that?
Okay, quickly before I delve into that, I want to just comment on the clips you showed on the military and the role of the Nigerian media, assessing the Nigerian media. I would say that if there's need to assess, we should put into consideration the role of some international organizations and international media that have one or two media houses as puppets in their hands. Otherwise, I think that the Nigerian media so far have partnered with the Nigerian army, partnered very well. You are a living example of, you have taken, as a matter of fact, you've taken lead in that area to project the army just as it were. I've gone with you to certain places, and I also think that the media here will not just unnecessarily want to sensationalize their stories, just to bring down the military. Don't always forget that some international organizations have been very opposed to the successes that the Nigerian military have often, gained, and some international media. All I would say is that people, the public should be able to sieve between news from the traditional media houses and social media. We don't subscribe to what we see on social media, where you have armchair critics and all sort of, postages and all that. So I would say that the Nigerian media has been active partners with the Nigerian military, and it's a joint partnership, it's a joint effort, and I'm very, very sure, just as you have been playing your role, that the Nigerian media will continue to partner with the military.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the question.
Okay, back to the question. Well, for me, I think, you know, just as we emphasized last week, I will want to re-emphasize that this is not a time to applaud the nation for the steps we're about to take. It's not a time, if we have to scale, if we have to look at what we're doing and we weigh it against international best practice, you agree with me that I think that this is too early.
What is too early now?
Too
What are you
early
saying
to
now?
call off to ease the lockdown.
The lockdown.
I know that there's a danger with hunger and all of that. But my fear is if we ease this lockdown without the measures we put in place, you know, fully effective, what's going to be the outcome?
Okay.
If there is a sudden spike, are we going to go back to another 1 month lockdown where we should have just gone through the whole hog and defeat this once and for all?
All right. Okay. We'll be looking into that. But let's call. I know that the statistics for yesterday, I think we can have it on screen. That says that we've crossed 2,000 confirmed cases. Yeah. It's already on the screen. It's actually not sweet. A lot of Nigerians never believe it to be this, but I knew that, and you said so right from the beginning, that we expect to see more confirmed cases. As the expert, is it unexpected, or are we doing badly?
It's not unexpected at all. This is supposed to happen. Like I said, the more we test people, you know, the more we're going to see the numbers rise. Again, these are cases that have probably are there. They probably are not recent transmissions. These are people that have been there in the system, and during all this partial or whatever, I don't know. I'm actually not impressed with what I saw, you know, from the report with the way people are doing that. But basically, if that's the situation, then we're like Philip said, we're in for, you know, perhaps more people getting infected through community transmission. Yes. So I think it's very essential that at this point people have to take responsibility for their own personal health. You know.
Yeah. Because some people have pointed out the fact that looking at Ghana, for instance, even though I didn't want to make comparison, Ghana is their lockdown. Yeah. Within a week, the number increased over 50%. Some have said that it's because of the easing of the lockdown that number has increased.
Well, it's difficult to make such an analysis because you see, it's a science. You can't just make that assessment based on I stopped the lockdown. That's observational strictly. But if you really want to go into the science, you need to show that have you increased your testing capacity? Are you testing in places you were not testing before? Until you're able to do that analysis, you can't just make it a direct cause and effect. You know, lockdown off, more numbers. So you have to do, there has to be some form of strict analysis to get that. But again, no matter what, even like you can see in Spain and Italy, the whole world is trying to open up. But the essential thing, what I'm seeing right now is a lot of gross irresponsibility. Yeah. And if we do not, as individuals, you know, I said this earlier, it's a personal, as individuals, if we care for one another, we will take responsibility of our health. We will ensure social distancing, physical distancing, our hand hygiene, surface hygiene, and then ensure that we care about one another and we stop the spread of the virus.
You know, just to buttress what Dr. just said, look at the footage on Mr. Adoye. His step, for some people, they will probably mock at what he's done, but that's patriotism. That's a man who came out. I don't see it in any other, I don't even see him as an African father. I see him more as a true picture of patriotism. He was patriotic enough to say, more Nigerians will not die. Even if this will come through my home, let my home suffer, and then let Nigerians live. That's what we want. For you to be responsible, you have to be patriotic. And then for government, I would say, and I emphasize it very clearly, there's need for more testing, there's need for more contact tracing, and it seems like we're doing well with treatment, but treatment is not the solution. Testing is a solution. More testing.
It's one of the fears of those who are against easing the lockdown is that it may reduce the capacity to do this contact tracing because many people will be on the streets. many people will be on the street. They won't be at home again.
But of course,
we
are definitely going to see that. See, the only way to do it right is to do it right. The price we have to pay for COVID-19 indeed has revealed the weaknesses of man. But strange enough, it has also revealed our strength. If we don't muster strength together, hear one another, and take responsibility for our life and for the life of this nation, we are just dwelling on our weaknesses.
Okay. But you know, I'd like to say, what is the engagement of the community leaders in these areas?
In these areas.
I'd like, because it's so interesting for me.
Okay, now before you go to that, I think we have a video of, because some people have said that maybe this is just for the elites. This is for the big men and not the poor men. We have a video of somewhere in Okota in Lagos, where in a not so comfortable area, where patient, about 4 persons were taken over. I don't know if the video can come on, where the ambulance came and somebody recorded it and sent to us. That's to show that it's not only in those. Okay, that is the video. If we can listen to it.
Johnny, for my show, they don't get like 4 people now. Maybe shiri we chat the ben. Now really, I beg my people, stay safe. I beg you now, make now stay safe. No be shiri o really street mi no tin ṣẹlẹ̀ báyìí lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí ní kóòtù.
What will you say to that?
We said it on this program that we need community-based campaign, community-based sensitization, community-based awareness. Now, in China, you'll see that regardless of the fact that they've tackled this to very high, to point of, you see that they have robots on streets going around announcing, still keeping people aware, keeping them abreast of the reality that is on ground. Now, let's not deceive ourselves in Nigeria. The social media comes up with all sort of nonsense. Now, our expectation is let's douse our fear with the hope that vaccines will come. You are a medical doctor, you're a scientist. You know very well that vaccines don't just come overnight.
Exactly.
And for any country that produces the vaccine, they will have to test it on their own people first.
Exactly.
And so we don't even know with what is happening with WHO right now, when Africa will be put into consideration.
Exactly. And talking about that, I'm sure we heard about the new drug that the FDA has put in the US, remdesivir. So remdesivir basically it's just, in fact, it's for treatment. It's just shortened the duration. It doesn't even cure it. So I mean, we still have a long way to go. It will come. Treatment, vaccines. That's the future. But what is the new normal? What is today? It's taking responsibility.
All right. Okay. I think one of the responsibility is that what the government says we must obey is that from Monday there should be easing of the lockdown. But people must, before you come out on public, you must put on your face mask, even though it's not that comfortable. You said last week I love wearing it, but maybe we should show people. At least I have my own face mask here.
Of course, I do as well.
We all have ours. So we have to put it on, just like the government said, as from Monday before you go. Will this help?
So basically, I think, yes, it would help. My fear is giving people a sense of overprotection. So I will keep saying the physical distancing, the hand hygiene, the surface hygiene, these are very, very critical. Okay. Then we can talk about the first part.
Okay. Now one aspect, I wanted us to talk about, we're getting signal to leave. I must mention this. Doctor, a lot of people are complaining. It seems that all the doctors we have, medical personnel we have in Nigeria, are being taken to treat COVID-19. My elder sister just died on Wednesday because no doctor to attend to her when she reported high blood pressure. So I don't know.
So Patrick, I'm sorry about your sister. I think this again, like he said, is that this has revealed. Oh my goodness, so sorry.
Yeah.
So sorry. This is basically the failure of our system. Like he mentioned, this has come to expose weaknesses as well as strengths, and you can see the weaknesses. So I still believe that in trying to make people go into other areas, solving COVID-19, we should not forget that there's still other diseases, there's still other things that need care in the health sector.
All right, okay, we must leave because I've asked to leave.
My appeal is that I know this is tough for Nigerians, but I appeal to government, to do proper evaluation. Science is what it's all about. Proper evaluation. And Nigerians is tough, but let's work together and let's defeat this war.
Okay. Yeah, we must leave the studio for other programs to continue, sadly. Though next week we'll continue. We'll dwell on how we can face the situation better next
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
So until we come your way again next week, I must say thanks for the guests for coming in, and thanks for staying tuned. Bye for now.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا